What's it all about? That's one of the questions I ask myself all the time. And in this Friday edition of the letter, number 17, I'm going to talk about the words to live by. This is the James Sinclair Letter. If you're new here, I release a newsletter every Monday morning at 7 a.m. for entrepreneurs, business owners that are obsessed with growth, ambition, and personal development to become the best version of them. You can get that newsletter for free by subscribing on my website, jamessinclair.net. Now, have you ever wondered just how completely off the wall we are as a species, say compared to the others that we share this planet with? For example, our lust to collect stuff. We are obsessed with collecting treasures along the way. I'm guilty too, and I'm aware of this. After all, we're all leaseholders at the end of it. Perhaps the best treasures that completely outweigh the material possessions that drive us all are thoughts. Thoughts that lead you to a better guy or girl. There's nowt as strange as folk, as my old nan would say. As we wander through life, we collect quotes and then recycle them. We may even come up with a few of our own. I love them. They give simplicity to life's complications. You know when someone says their keynote phrase and strikes you down with thought and brilliance? Just a few simple words, when composed together well, can stop us to make us really think. I've often claimed that real success in life is down to the quality of how we think. Thinking better can give you absolute leverage in success. I'd go as far as to say it's a rare and protected form of leverage that earns you a gold medal in business success. I wrote a full article in detail about rare and protected forms of leverage, and you can read it on my blogs on my website, jamessinclair.net. The trouble is, we're tribal as a race. We follow poor thinking too often, very often by the people closest to us and the people we love most. Their poor thinking is exposed to us like a dodgy sunbed, giving us the worst gift of all, a negative and closed-off mindset. It's almost like a cancer, but can easily be cured if you change tribes. I've been enjoying some time in Porta Polenta this week, basking in the natural rays of the sun that bathe my slightly extended but nevertheless slightly receding stomach, or as I prefer to call it, the veranda over the toy shop. That constant exercise is starting to work and I'm Slim Jim now. The sun is pumping vitamin D into my pores as I crisp on a sunbed. I've been mulling over why people think so differently to me. Surely this has been heightened due to poor chats with people who know me from socials and have approached me that I've been watching my content. I really feel like a has-been reality TV star. That's what YouTube does for you, baby. Perhaps the people who read this letter and my close business friends are the rare few who understand why we entrepreneurs do think so differently. I'm attracted to big thinkers that get big results. I want to delve into their brains. The labyrinth of a big thinker's brain makes for an entertaining place to get lost compared to those small thinkers, the naysayers, the gossipers and the mood hoovers. Yes, they're usually the same people. Your job is to navigate out of the maze of pessimism and boredom faster than flies discover a barbecue. The thing is, the latter are the majority. They're the chocolate bar you know you shouldn't have, compounding you with poor thinking, one step at a time or one conversation at a time. And because we're tribal, we join in, desperate not to be isolated from the pack. But that's why I love entrepreneurs. We couldn't give a flying what's it about what others think. We're happy to change tribes, or better still, create our own tribe if we don't like where we're at. Or, dare I say it, be in a tribe of one, lost in our quotes of self-improvement. Being alone may get you somewhere, but it won't get you all the way there. An enterprise is a collection of entrepreneurial and management DNA. Or as a James Sinclair quote, one that I absolutely love and spout off whenever I can, is E+M=S, which is entrepreneurship plus management equals success. What I love about really good managers or really good teachers is they can quickly influence a group of people to be better and think better, resulting in better habits and behaviour. Remember at school how a class's behaviour could completely change from subject to subject or class to class depending on how good the teacher was. That's all down to that skill and brilliance of that wonderful teacher who manages the outcome and culture of that 1 hour lesson. The same is true of great managers in our empires of entrepreneurship. See, you absolutely need both. You can't just have loads of entrepreneurs and no managers, or loads of managers with no entrepreneurs. That pendulum going back and forth between leadership, entrepreneurship and management is how it works. Swing the pendulum too far in one direction and you'll find that no innovation happens. But that's where the entrepreneur excels. Swing it too far in the other and you'll find that there's no organisation or completion of tasks. That's where managers really win. Now that's the lesson for us. You see, as a great teacher makes people better, we can be better ourselves and you'll be happier for it. Getting involved in negativity and gossip is a drug of discovery at another's downfall. If you have courage, you can change the momentum of a conversation by just responding or saying this. If you haven't got something nice to say, best not to say it at all. This quote is the one I try so hard to live by, even when people are abhorrent and deserve some of the nastiest words said about them. If you collect some decades on this planet, you'll have met them and you'll have brushed swords with them. They'll have made you so angry, like a bull ready to charge at the lure of a red flag in the distance. But when those people do rear their head, kill them with kindness. And remember this, don't be bitter, be better. And when the next mood hoover approaches, and they will, as certain as the season's changing, they'll be mustering up their concoction of wicked gossip. Get ready to block it. They will immediately feel resource and you'll stop the nastiness in its track, point blank. They'll think, I can't infect this person, and they will see you as an elder, a good person. And even though they're trying to muster out some nastiness, they will trust you for blocking it. They'll even become better themselves and they'll respect you. I said I'd share some quotes from readers, and here they are. I've had many duplicates, so I wanted to pick my favourites. This is one of my absolute favourites, and this comes from Chuds, who listened to it on Modern Wisdom, a Chris Williamson podcast. Beware of the tyranny of the minority. It is a mic drop quote. I'll say it one more time for you. Beware of the tyranny of the minority. Here's another one for you. What doesn't get measured doesn't get managed. I flipping love this. Now, I've been on a bit of a weight loss journey and I've been weighing myself each and every single morning. I've been measuring my weight. That's me managing it, and therefore I'm more motivated to do it. You're running a business. You've got to know your numbers. You've got to produce a monthly profit and loss. And therefore, if you're not measuring stuff, you can't manage stuff. Don't be bitter, be better. I mentioned it earlier, but let's put it in again. You become the average of the 5 people that you spend most of your time with, which is my all-time favourite quote for life. Be careful who you share good news with. Oh, chef's kiss. If you think someone's ruined your life, you're right. It's you. And this one, if it's to be, it's up to me. My little comedy one that someone sent me on Instagram. It's better to have a hole in business than an arsehole. And that's talking about employees. The last one is all about teams and never panic in employing. On team building, it's one of the most asked questions of me. James, how do you build such great teams? So much so, I've just finished a book which is coming out soon, and it's called The Dream Team. So I share a chapter from that and my thoughts on finding A players to help you on your journey in a bonus email. My God, I really do spoil you. And that's obviously going to go out on the email, but I will read a chapter here on this podcast in a few months' time. I feel I needed to leave you with something that sums up this in one little poem, and it's the words of Rudyard Kipling in the poem If. Now, if you haven't read If, and if you're going through, a period of dealing with some toughness, this poem is, I think, some of the best collections of words that I've ever come across. Now, Andrew, who's a very good friend of mine and who's mentored me more than most, told me about these wisest of words. To this day, if I'm to enter an altercation of sorts, I'll read this poem before the clock strikes for the summit of words between two opinions. For your convenience, I've placed the words below, and I'm going to read it off for you now. Now, I've got this poem in my kitchen at home, hanging up on the wall, and I used to have it on my desk. And do you know what? I'm going to get that back. But here it is. If you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you, if you can trust yourself when all men doubt you, but make allowance for their doubting too, if you can wait and not be tired by waiting, or being lied about, don't deal in lies, or being hated, don't give way to hating, and yet don't look too good nor talk too wise. If you can dream, but not make dreams your master. And if you can think and not make thought your aim, if you can meet triumph and disaster and treat those two impostors just the same, if you can bear to hear the truth you've spoken, twisted by knaves to make a trap for fools, or watch the things you gave your life to broken, and stood up and built them up with worn-out tools, if you can make one heap of all your winnings and risk it in one turn of pitch and toss, and lose and start again with your beginnings, and never breathe about your loss, if you can force your heart and nerve and sinew to serve your turn long after they are gone, and so hold on when there is nothing in you except the will which says to tell them, hold on. If you can talk with crowds and keep your virtue, or walk with kings nor lose the common touch, if neither foes nor loving friends can hurt you, if all men can count with you but none too much, if you can fill the unforgiving minute with 60 seconds worth of distance run, yours is the earth and everything that's in it, and which is more, you'll be a man, my son. Until next week, to your continued success, James. There you go, gang. Long letter there. Brilliant poem by Rudyard Kipling. I honestly urge you, and I'm not going to talk about the beginning of the email, but just go and find that poem. And I know I've read it out to you, but read it in your mind. I promise you it'll serve you well. If you are watching here on this podcast channel, please make sure you subscribe to it if you're watching on YouTube. And if you're watching it on any of the audio platforms, I'd love to see a comment of what you think of this podcast. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.